Welcome back. Well, yes, that's what we're talking about today. It's a challenge which the country needs to rise to. So we're focusing on it today. We've got Mr. Mike Ejiofor, who's a former director with the Secret Service. We also do have Mr. Lawrence Alubi, who is a former commissioner of police in FCT Abuja. Hey, gentlemen, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is a challenge that many will say, look, it's better imagined than experienced. But there are several people who have experienced this. The narrative is completely different. It's something that sometimes you just wonder. In spite of all that the authorities say they're doing, we still haven't gotten the kind of results that a lot of people will require. Mr. Ejiofor, let me start with you. You had a unique experience yourself, but you also had, before then, much later, and even now, several actions that are being taken. Why, from your perspective, or what do you think we need to be focusing on at the moment?
Well, you see, the problem is you don't expect to continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. This issue of kidnapping is a very big challenge to Nigeria because nobody is safe anymore. Nobody, basically nobody is safe. You talk of the CDS was killed. The former CDS was killed. Generals have been killed. Top military officers, religious leaders, common citizens, everybody is not safe. So it's a very big challenge that government needs to address by not doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. We need to change strategies.
Okay, maybe in answering what we need to do, could you also talk us through the root cause of this problem? Can we ever pinpoint or place our finger in it?
Well, it's a difficult one because you see, let me put it this way. We have two types of kidnaps. One is the one the one we have in the north now by these, in quote now, Fulani gunmen. I don't call them herdsmen. I think their reason is purely political. They want to secure space. They feel, according to some of the sources I have, they feel marginalized.
So what's the point of kidnapping people?
Kidnapping people, you see, their claims that their cattle are being rustled and they have to take revenge because they don't have any means of livelihood, which is not justifiable anyway. They go kidnapping people to make money. And it doesn't make any sense. But the problem is that the main objective of these people must be established before you talk of solutions to the problem. What do they intend to achieve apart from the monetary gains?
That's the first group, right?
Yes, the first group.
What about the second
Then you
group?
talk of the second group, which is purely economical, the ones they have in the south. Their own is just to make money too. But a combination of political and economic reasons is what is going on in the north. And it's a very big challenge, and I think we have to change strategies. We have to change our methods of tackling this problem. Like, I think 2 days ago, I understand a meeting between the Director General of State Security Service and the Inspector General of Police. They went to the Air Force so that they will be assisted with area patrols. I think that will go a long way in solving the problem. But again, what type of security architecture in terms of the planes? Helicopter, are they going to be low
Maybe
flying?
that's where Mr. Alubi will come
Are they going
in
to be low flying so that they will identify the people?
But,
and do they have the capacity?
You know, the IGP, the acting IGP, spoke about the fact that it was clear. He didn't mean so. He said, look, we don't have that capacity as a police, so we need to collaborate. But before now, I don't think, has any IGP ever broached that topic in terms of this level of collaboration? But Mr. Alubi, could you give us a sense of what do we expect from this collaboration and the kind of challenge that the security agencies, police particularly, face?
You see, the police is a principal agency in charge of internal security. But it is pathetic and unfortunate the police that is ought to be empowered to drive our internal security, to meet our security needs. It's being starved of everything, manpower, funding. You see, budgeting is based on needs and activities. When the police budget and say, okay, they approve 50 billion, they release of just 5 billion, just less than 10% really implementation of the budget. And then the men have to be given capacity in terms of training, and to buy equipment. Security today and policing is technologically driven and knowledge-based and also intelligence-based. You need funds to get intelligence, you need funds to train the people, you need funds to buy equipment, you need funds to do the training of the people. How many vehicles do the police have, for instance, like Abuja Calabar route? How many vehicles are supposed to? When I was CPF city, what I do what they call cross patrol, crisscross patrol strategy. Each interval, there's always vehicle coming up to opposite direction, and some vehicles will be positioned and strategic positions to respond to distress calls and so forth. But now they don't have those vehicles. They don't have those vehicles. They cannot perform magic. The police are handicapped. You know, it's systemic and it's structural. Section 14B provides that the prime purpose of government is security and well-being of the citizens. The government, Mr. President, all those in government have taken oath of office to defend and uphold the Constitution. They should not see the toy with in terms of internal security. Internal security is key. Nations are built on law and order. Nations are built, any nation that cannot secure guarantee public security and law and order is degenerate to a failed state.
Much as we acknowledge, the issues that you've raised, the challenges that they face, but does that then mean that, as presently constituted with the resources they have, they can't do better than they're doing right now?
You see, resources. The challenges are very enormous. Not just kidnapping. You have herdsmen problem, you have Boko Haram, you have armed robbery. You have the police is actually overwhelmed in the sense that they don't have the manpower. We in terms of United Nations standard, we are not even up to. I mean, Nigeria is about 200 million people, and we have less than 400,000 policemen in the country.
So is the problem, from your view, about funding and giving manpower, or about the structure of policing in the country?
Not the structure at all. The structure in terms of structure is not the problem. If you give the police the manpower they require, the motivation, the equipment, the adequate funding, they will, after the issues of the country, when the police go out and peacekeeping, they excel. I mean excel. They excel, they compete effectively with other police organizations globally. But when they come here, because of the system here is defective, palatably defective, it is a system that does not motivate and encourage people. It's a paradox in the sense that...
We also know, sorry to jump in again, we see on almost on a regular basis how state governors want to do the best they can. We see them donate all sorts to the police. How can we say they're still demoralized and starved of funds?
You see, this donating, how many vehicles? Maybe the government donates 20 vehicles, 30 vehicles. How many vehicles does a police division requires, and the command requires, and so forth? You have to be on patrol 24/7 to respond to this call at each time. Not just giving vehicles. What about how these vehicles are being maintained? How they being fueled? The vehicle will not drive themselves. The men have to be on the field 24/7. And are they being motivated? Are they being given allowances? They will leave their homes. You see, the police job in this country is very, very frustrating. A policeman is alienated from his family, alienated from the society. Society don't even appreciate you for what you are doing. You sacrifice your life and time to serve the people, protect the people. And yet, rather than appreciating, every day is being tongue-lashed.
Could this also be the reason then, Mr. Alobi, why there is an increase in security threats? Because people are not...
Of course. There is, when people are being frustrated, the person are not motivated. Look, if you want effectiveness and efficiency, you have to provide what it takes.
Someone listening now would probably say you're making excuses for the police.
Not at all. I'm not rationalizing. I'm not kind of a defense mechanism.
Because ultimately, what the average Nigerian expects is, once I see the policeman, I should be comfortable. But if the policeman himself looks defeated already, then my life is at risk.
No, the system makes the policeman ineffective. It's a systemic. It's a system that makes the policeman ineffective. Like I said, I was in charge of federal operations. For 5 years, I was in charge of peacekeeping in this country, of the Nigerian police force. Outside the show, because we excel. We perform excellently, very, very well. We get commendations. But when we're here in the system, because the system itself is defective, lamentably defective. It is rather than encouraging you and from assisting you, it dampens your spirit.
So you felt these frustrations while you were in service?
Of course I did, but we were able to manage. You have to, sometimes you also have to be creative, and again. You see, based on how the Nigerian police force has evolved from the colonial to the military to the present democratic dispensation, you see, the public see the police as anti the people. That it's agent of government against the people, and that because of how we evolved from the colonial regime, which is very the very repressive policing system. The military came on board with decrease and repressive system. Now democracy, which is supposed to policing in line with democratic norms and values and to meet the needs of the people. The police have not been able to be reorientated, given that capacity for them to appreciate that policing is all about people's security needs. Policing is about people. But now the system is the one that does not make you, give you the capacity, give the enablement, give you the orientation, the thinking, so that you are there to serve the people, and people also have to reciprocate. Like the principle of reciprocity. When the system itself, society itself is antagonistic to the people, what do you expect? Let me give you a simple analogy. You have a dog in your house that comes to protect you. When you come every day, you hit your dog with a stick. The dog you don't take care of the dog. The dog is hungry. You don't give it food. When the dog sees you, this one has come again. But when you see a dog that you take care of your dog, you feed it, it walks its tail, welcome sir, welcome sir. It's reciprocity.
That's the police have the canine units they have, so we have to take that seriously. but
Mr. Jofo, use of intelligence is something that some other people have broached, in fact.
But does the SSS feel this same frustration?
Yeah.
Did you while you were in service?
Well, see, the fact remains that. You see, why not trying to hold excuses? I did a work on security funding about 2009. And you see that security is not adequately funded. The whole security subsector is not adequately funded. And we made some recommendations. But that is not to say that we cannot, within our available means, tackle the challenges that are confronting us. We should not hold excuses. It is not only the security subsector. Look at power sector, for instance. We cannot make progress without power. You look at agriculture. You see, when politicians talk, it's a different kettle of fish. The point I'm trying to make is that no sector is adequately funded due to the economic hard times. And that is also what is responsible for the rising wave in crime, especially kidnapping. People, unemployment is there. You have economic hard times, especially when we came out from an election. The election was fully militarized.
Which one? This one or
this last election? This 2019 election was fully militarized. Not only militarized, politicians went and armed their talks. Now the thing is over. What did they do? Turn against the society. If you look at what happened, like this rising wave now, especially in this Kaduna axis, during the rainy season, you see there's a decline in terms of kidnapping. Because these people, like I said, I made a differentiation between the north and the south. These people who are operating in the north, they're very mobile. They don't have residence. They don't have operational base, unlike what is happening in the south. So what is happening now is that the rains have come down. We're stepping into dry season. So the wave too is supposed to be rising of
during
kidnapping.
The dry season.
Yes, during the dry season, because during the rainy season, you don't expect them to stay in the forest just like that with their victims. So that is accountable for one of the reasons why the thing is rising. But let us not continue to, we agree that the security agencies are not properly funded, but let us see how do we move forward to solve this problem. Like I said, yeah, we should look at changing our strategies and tactics. We should look at using technology like drones to monitor these areas, especially where we have identified areas that are prone to these attacks. And we should also deploy our military to the forest there. Instead of this road checkpoints. I tell you, between Kogi, where I had my experience, I had less than 100 meters from where I was kidnapped. There was a police checkpoint. So we need to do mobile patrols of all these areas instead of getting police at the checkpoints, getting military, they look at you, deploy them to these areas.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and it cannot work because the kidnappers themselves know the areas where these people are stationed. So they choose their areas and strike. So we need to change, we need to deploy technology in terms of...
but are we really taking the problem seriously? When you look at the, the menace and how it's spreading, the rampance of the problem right now, I mean, even right here in the Federal Capital Territory, it doesn't look like a lot of citizens feel safe, from the menace of kidnapping. Not to now talk of when you travel out of the Federal Capital Territory. Just on Wednesday, on our return from Kaduna, we did witness what was going on along the Kaduna-Abuja highway just before we enter Niger State. We happened to have seen that area where the governor, in conjunction with some policemen, were able to apprehend some alleged kidnappers. It is worrisome indeed. But we have to ask, is it being prioritized? Or has it become so commonplace that it's now a question of, if it happens to you, just deal with it. It's happening to everybody now, so there's really nothing we can do about it.
You see, like Mr. Lobi said, the primary responsibility of government is the provision of security and welfare of the people. So we should prioritize our security subsector. There is nothing you can do. There will never be any development without security.
Sure.
So we need to prioritize this. People are not safe. People are not more traveling.
You said we need to. Are we is the question.
The government.
Yes. Is the government prioritizing it? Do you have a sense? You both have worked with security agencies of government in this country. Do you have a feeling? I'm sure you have more than just a feeling. You definitely get information on what is going on within government. Do you get a feeling that it is being prioritized even within the security agencies, this problem of kidnapping?
Well, from the talks we hear from government, you also watch when government makes statements, they show concern that is prioritized. But is it being backed up with action? That's the problem. I think we should back not just our talks with action, not just talking, but we should back it with action. And there's no way it can be manifest except results that's coming. Now results are not coming.
Okay, Mr. Nobi, what do you?
Yeah, say the issue of this.
Do you have a different experience within the police?
I think it's crime is a transaction against the people and the government of the country, and we shouldn't just say police or. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that our society, Nigeria, is safe and secure. Section 24 of the Constitution provides that. It's the constitutional duty to every Nigerian citizen to assist the agencies in maintaining of law and order. But again, unfortunately in this country, we emphasize more on our rights and freedom. We don't think about what is our obligation as citizens. What can I do to contribute to the safety, to the peace and development of my country?
Rights and freedom is equally important.
No, but when there's a right, the corresponding obligation, that's the one thing we tend to emphasize on our right. Let us know that citizens to have a duty. Kennedy told the American, look, every American shouldn't think what American will do for you. Think what you can do for America.
So I agree, Daniel. Let us say we want to all do it, because I'm sure when a problem is affecting all of us,
we should all be concerned.
We find solutions to it.
Yeah, all of
so
us.
Right now, what are you asking of citizens to do?
Citizens information, for instance. Information. How do they give information? Because this kidnappers are not spirits.
Has the Nigerian police provided channels to receive those information?
Look, let me tell you. During the Omorobiko incident in London, when he was to be created, put in a parcel in a crate, a woman that saw and called a security officer, he doesn't need the government to go and beg, come and give me information. That don't teach them that willingness to assist security agencies, that culture should be there.
So I'm asking you now, assuming I have some information to give the Nigerian police.
Yes.
What channels do we...
The numbers are known everywhere. Call the Nigerian police, call the DPO, call the commissioner of police, call the commander. When I was in service, my number was known to the whole world. Even when I say pick, I say they say respond.
But even before that, Mr. Olobi, sorry to jump in. Assuming we are considering that all those things are there,
Yeah.
Has the police or the security agencies, do they find out why are Nigerians not calling us to give us information?
No, that is an obvious fact. One, the citizens seem to lost confidence in the security agencies and the police in particular. The police also have to make themselves worthy of the trust of the citizens, and that is why I always emphasize on when I call democratic policing. Policing, let the policing in line with democratic norms and values. Let the citizens know that you are there for them.
You police has the police community relations, committee and all of that. Is that
the point? Not just having a committee. It is like my brother Mike said. It is walking our talk. If we still talking about community policing cannot succeed when there's no trust. When there's that trust is not, you cannot associate trust in the person we are dealing with. For instance, if I don't trust, I cannot have business with you. Because I don't trust you. I suspect you.
The community having trust in the police, or the police having trust in
both.
the community?
It is reciprocal. You need to trust me, I need to trust you. Because sometimes some bring an information with that.
So then it behoves on the police and the security agencies then to find a way to instill that trust.
Yeah.
How do we achieve that?
I can achieve that by one, building capacity. When the professional standard, inculcating professional standard, give them reorientation, training. Because it is through training they can imbibe those values and cultures. But when the values are not there, the mentality, also the society too. These policemen come from this Nigerian society. They're not spirit, they're not foreign.
You're also not unaware, Mr. Olobi, that sometimes when people give information to the police, it rolls back on them. They
not in all cases. Not in all cases. Sometimes to you, the citizen too, is very flippant. You want to go and boast, I will deal with him, I will do this. No, after you give information to the police, go back and say, okay, I'll deal with him. You go and discuss. The walls have ears. So then you don't manage the information too. So it's both sides. The police can be managing information, the citizen can also be managing information. It is when we understand that security is key and central. We need to be conscious and concerned. We need to they have a common vision, common purpose, and that want to make this country safe and secure.
Mr. Joffa, what do you think? Because ultimately the security is about the people, but then he talked about trust.
Yeah, we need to build confidence.
Who needs to build confidence?
The security agencies need to build confidence in the people. They need to, and it's earned. It's not something you force on the people. It's earned. How do you treat the people? I'll tell you, for instance, on the road, and I want to also call on the new acting inspector general of police. You see, I look at him as a professional, but he has to show too that there's certain actions that should take to continue to instill that confidence in the people. If you travel between Okene, I've been saying this between Okene and Auchi, you have over 20 police checkpoints overlooking themselves. It's not necessary. And what are they doing? They're extorting money from people. So I also want him to take particular note of that. I travel on the road all the time.
People tell us about
that very road.
Ichaway Road as well.
No.
Even the Minister of Transport.
So how can you build confidence when you are traveling with torture on the road? People are aggrieved, you see. So we need to begin to build that confidence. He should also prioritize this. Let people have confidence for them to be able to come and give information to the police. Besides that, we will have a challenge. How do we resolve it? Because nobody is spared now. Everybody is a target. So I think as we go along, it's better to, until the problem is solved, for people to know what to do at a particular time if you become a victim.
We'll come back and find out what can people do. What solutions should we be proffering, which it was all we'll attempt to do when we'll come back in a moment. Stay with us.